Welcome to the Therapist After Dark podcast. Ever wonder what happens when the therapy session is over? Well, we're digging into the funny, heartwarming, and surprising stories therapists have after they leave the office. Join us, two mental health professionals, every week for a dose of laughter, a touch of drama, and maybe a few shocking revelations, because therapists are people too. Last episode was wild, huh?
New microphone. Here we go. New microphone.
Doing our best. Doing our best, Sean.
Oh God, sorry, Sean. I don't even know you. Oh wait, I'm not even using this microphone.
I don't even know you, Sean. Sean is our mixologist. We hope he will help us with this audio, and thank you, buddy.
Soundboard mixologist, because a mixologist could be a drink maker. Yeah.
Well,
You're the mixologist. Yeah.
For purposes, I'm the mixologist for this one. You know what? I think the cocktail is working.
I don't know. Speak for yourself. I still feel like death.
Oh my gosh. Do you have any plans this weekend? Okay, are you going? This is your birthday weekend.
No, next weekend's my birthday weekend.
What's today?
Oh, today is Friday.
We're still in the teens, aren't we? We're not in the 20s yet. It's like the 14th.
14th, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 week.
Yeah, I know I got a new artist in the gallery, so
Awesome. When's your next show?
tomorrow.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. Cool beans.
Cool beans.
But yeah, birthday weekend coming up.
Yes. And our friend hasn't told you yet what we're doing?
No.
Well, then already. Big 3-0.
Yeah. And I really truly am. I'm so excited to turn 30. But I have been thinking about it a lot lately, which I didn't think I was going to. So it's interesting.
What's been coming up?
I just want to stay young forever.
Fair point. I mean, I've been in my 30s deeply now for a while. And I still feel the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I think children really shifts, doesn't make you old, but I think it shifts your priorities. So like maybe the youthfulness gets translated into your child versus the self. And if you're a mom out there, you can correct me, you can prove me wrong. I just feel like the reason why I still feel pretty young is because I don't have to run after toddlers. That's my personal opinion.
Well, yeah. Well, and it's also like that juxtapose, like there's a child who is all they do is fun and play, right? So like then it's like, oh wait, yeah, I'm the adult.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously you play with your child and that's how you connect with them, but like maybe that juxtaposition of like child versus adult.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe there could be, and of course, here we are, like non-moms speaking on momdom. So, like again, you can come for us if you need to. We're here about conversations.
Yeah.
But my thought behind it is, especially working with a lot of moms and a lot of single moms, and a lot of things like that, is that their playfulness gets channeled through their child. So
yeah,
they're so excited to see their child excited that actually takes precedence over their own excitement.
Yeah.
That becomes their excitement. Whereas for us, well, me, I get to have my own excitement. I get to kind of live life on my terms. I'm not living through someone else,
right.
Someone else's story or narrative, because of my priorities,
Right.
So I think that's what keeps me more youthful because I haven't had to really grow up,
Yeah.
I don't have any additional responsibilities.
I was gonna say less responsibility.
Seriously, me and my dog and my husband, like, what else?
Yeah.
This house, like, this house runs itself. My business, I would say that's where I get my gray hairs from.
Yeah.
It's my life. That's my baby. It's my business, but
right. I couldn't imagine doing this job with a child. This is me right now, but so kudos to the therapists and the coaches who have a whole family and children and
Totally. And I know so many, and they have such wonderful therapists, and they have such a deeper level of understanding that I'll never know until I have my child and I have to, balance those sorts of sheets. But I would say that it's fascinating to, I don't know, like I think that there's space for both experiences to exist in the sense that as therapists without children, we provide a whole new level of permission, maybe for our female clients specifically, to somehow reclaim their power. Again,
I like that.
Remember who they are as an individual. I think we can offer that to our mom clients.
It
was just a thought that kind of
I like that.
Anyway.
Yeah, but it'd be really cool if any of you who are listening, who are therapists, coaches, who are moms or planning to be a mom or whatever, if you could maybe like let us know something that you would want us to talk about or give us what you think. That'd be kind of cool to bring into one of these episodes.
Totally curious to see like how you balance building your business,
right,
and also maintaining a family at home and responsibilities. I doubt that a mother of 3 could see 7 clients in a day without having support.
Right.
I know that for me, the way that I'm built, because maybe I'm a little selfish, I don't know. I'm gonna need a nanny. Like I just will need the additional support. And if my family was around where I lived, that would be a different story. Obviously they would help. But since they don't live around here and I'm not expecting them to move, I'm gonna need a nanny. I'm gonna have a baby and like I need to make money to have a nanny. So here we are. Keep listening.
Increase those rates.
Increase those rates. Keep listening. Pass your name along. Help if you're a sponsor. Hello, we're here. Whatever we gotta do.
Oh man, but yeah, staying young. I've decided with the conversation I had with myself, I'm just forever gonna stay young as long as I can. So
I feel like it's a thing though. Like I feel like more women these days are like reclaiming their youth. And I think more like I don't know, if you look at like J-Lo and everybody like that, like they look younger now than they did like when they were actually in their 20s. Well, it's wild. Stem cells?
No, they just it's like it's that saying, it's like, well, you're not ugly, you're just poor. If I had that money, I would be looking like I'm 16 again.
16. Oh gosh, I never want to be 16 again.
Yeah, me either. Oh god, good riddance.
Although I would say that I pulled really hard with my braces. Like I was so cute with these little braces. Like I was like, hi. Did you know that the kids these days, what do they say? When they talk
kids these days, he's like whippersnappers.
Well, I've just been so because obviously I have a ton of nieces and nephews. A lot of them are in like a middle school age. And so they're coming out with all these like slang words. And one of them is Riz. And it's for charisma. And I
didn't know that.
Yeah. Riz is for charisma.
Okay.
And then there's one, and I can't remember if the charisma, but the charisma isn't like the charisma that we understand. The charisma is like you got Riz, like you know how to pull. Like you know how to
like charm?
Yeah, like you know how to get a girl or get a guy.
Okay.
And I'm just thinking like, bitch, y'all are like 11 years old.
And they say that to each other?
Yes, you can pull. Yes. And I'm like, oh wow. I mean, I guess like that's the age when you start to like boys and you like have crushes and stuff. But like I wasn't thinking about pulling no boys at 11 years old.
I remember distinctly running away from boys that wanted to hug me. Remember, people would get in like circles like, oh, go hug Bobby, go hug Matt. And we were like, no.
In middle school? Elementary school?
Yeah.
I also went to an all-girls school, so I don't have any, there's nothing for me. There's no point of reference for me. I was like, what do you mean? That sounds ridiculous. But yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, maybe that was early middle school, but yeah. I think then like the spin the bottle started.
Right.
Oh, God.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I definitely, who knew what Riz was at that time?
Oh my God.
I was just showing up. But yeah, in other words, being 30.
Yeah, being 30.
It's great. It's great here.
I'm excited to be a 30-year-old going on 16.
Exactly. It's fun to like be older, but like also still look youthful and to feel youthful.
Just also act youthful. Yeah. Like not everything has to be so serious all the time.
Right. Like to still care about your style and still care about like yeah.
Being an adult doesn't mean you need to be lame. Right. Come on, guys.
Guys, yeah. And this might be taboo for a lot of people because I think because we don't have the same level of responsibility as a lot of women our age do. it is easy for us to talk about this.
Yes, that's true. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Lifestyle choices, we all
Yeah.
have our own lifestyle choices.
Well, and also like where we live, like it's really hard to give that up.
Yeah.
It's just it's like a fun place,
Well, yeah, for sure.
So
College town.
yeah, by the beach.
By the beach, by the ocean, by the yachts.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't be ugly and looking being on a yacht, can you?
Of course you can. Well, it's just I'm just thinking about like when I first moved here, after grad school and like what my life was like. It was go to work, live for the weekends, going to the bars and like dancing till all nights of the hour, right? All nights of the hour, all hours of the night. Jesus Louises.
She's getting old already. Jesus,
Jesus Louise. And I just feel like it doesn't have to stop, but it's not gonna like there's a new chapter when it comes to 30. Like fun is just looks a little bit different. It's just not gonna be the bars every weekend.
or maybe it can be. I don't know. I think it just depends on who you are.
That's true.
I also think that a lot of it has like a lot of my life shifted not when I turned 30, but I was already in my relationship at 30, but like really when I really chose a partner,
Yeah.
I think that that's when things started to slow down and shift because I didn't really want to go out to the bars.
Right.
Truth be told, the reason I'm going out to the bars is
That's true. You're right.
Flaunt my rings,
Yeah, maybe if I was single, I would be thinking differently.
Yeah, I feel like it is different for single people versus single parents versus married people versus couple partners versus like I think there's like different stages and you can choose what that is for you.
Yeah.
So you don't want it to stop, don't let it stop.
Yeah, but right, it's no matter where you are, who you are, I just think it's so important to at least have fun.
Totally. I mean, I think playfulness is such a huge component to life satisfaction.
Yeah.
I feel like you said, we take too much.
Right.
First, we take too much for granted, but we also take life too seriously. And sometimes things need to be serious, but like for the most part, most of us are making things that are serious that really aren't.
Yeah.
How do you do that with a client? Like if a client comes to you and they're like, they're just their focus and their intensity, like their anxiety, their worry is on something that, especially now that you're older,
right?
It's like not even a thing,
right?
It's like not even an issue. You can see the bigger picture,
right?
How do you help walk them through that?
I mean, I want to say first, like you meet them where they are, but you try and help them see. You just try and help them see. Like you said, it really just trying to help them see the bigger picture, but not in that like anxiety provoking way of like, because sometimes like it's not about looking to the future, it's just about seeing the bigger picture and how things in life are just so temporary. Like that's how I usually frame it. And when something is so temporary, it doesn't need to be given so much attention. So, and that's the whole thing with anxiety too. Like, right, we don't want to fuel the anxiety. We don't want to feed it. So we have to starve it sometimes. We just have to give it less attention.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's really interesting how that can, how that kind of like plays out in our relationships with our clients too. And just like seeing, like, especially with age.
Yeah.
Like it's like for us, we work with teens and younger people. And like as you get older, it's like the perspective is just so different now.
I know.
And giving them that perspective is like super important.
I hear myself saying sometimes like, oh, like when I was your age, like it's like I was 18 once. Like I know what it feels like to think you're an adult, but you're not. Like just like you don't need to be an adult right now. Like you can still be a kid, like or whatnot, whatever. And like and I know that's not what they always want to hear. Like they want to be taken seriously. Like I'm 18, I'm an adult. So like I'm just using that as an example. But like I just try and help them see like, yes, but no. in a good way. Like it's okay not to be this full-blown adult right now.
Yeah.
Like slow it down. But I do find myself thinking like how like or saying, yeah, when I was your age, and I have to be careful with that sometimes because I don't want to make them feel bad. Like I don't want to invalidate their invalidate their experience.
Yeah, right, for sure. Because it is like if somebody told us that at
Yeah.
that time,
Yeah.
like, you don't get it, you don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, I do. I can help you, like steer in the right direction.
That's what I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this actually makes me think of one of the things I've seen, and it's not necessarily a kerfuffle, but maybe it could be a kerfuffle.
Mhm.
There's something going around on the talk, on
Okay.
TikTok, and it's, of course, right? It's like my new favorite place. And it is and it's been going on for a while, honestly, probably for years, but like the idea that millennials are, because you brought up the age, millennials are aging like, or looking younger than the Gen Zs that are coming up.
Yeah.
And so there's like so many questions, and people have theories around this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious about what you think about that comment, if you think it's true. Especially being a millennial who doesn't, a young millennial, but a millennial who doesn't want to, who doesn't
Grow
want
up.
to grow up.
I don't want to grow up, guys. So sorry.
I mean, millennials, we do have Peter Pan syndrome a little bit. We can't help it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, look at pictures of us in elementary school and middle school.
Yeah.
We look like children.
Yeah.
Look at pictures of people, Gen Z people in elementary and middle school. They look like what we did in high school.
Totally.
So like, I don't know, does that have something to do with it? Like just like this because like we didn't have internet growing up. Like we didn't have TikTok to look out for like the styles, like
Right.
or like how to do makeup, and
Totally.
we just
showed up. We just did our best, Sean. We just did our best. Yeah, we did our best. I think that that's exactly, like, to me, that's what it is. It's like they had a lot of people. A lot of the talk is that they didn't have. They've grown up with skincare. They've grown up with like makeup routines and tutorials, and like, to me, like, I didn't really learn how to put on makeup until I was in my 20s.
yeah.
And here are like these teenagers who are doing makeup better than me that I still do in my 30s.
Right.
And they look more put together. They look more
mature.
more mature.
Yeah.
Because of the way that they're doing their makeup.
The way they're dressing.
And the way that they're dressed. Yeah. Their
Right.
style
Right.
too is
Mhm.
like aged.
Yeah.
And so.
Had no style growing up. No one did. Bermuda shorts.
Well, granted, they are bringing all of our style back. Like,
Yeah. Why does it look better? I don't understand.
I don't think it does. I think it was pretty cool back then, but we were too young for it to be that cool.
Gotcha.
You know, like TLC, like all their style is like all back.
Yeah.
You know, Britney Spears, that style is kind of back. Not the hip huggers, thank God. I think they're thinking about bringing this back.
They tried.
Please don't.
They tried.
Like the Gwen Stefani look, like all that stuff is kind of in style again. And we were just too young to really appreciate it. But now that we're older, I think seeing it on younger people, like in their early 20s and young, you know, or late teens, it looks really cool. It's like, oh yeah, that's what it was supposed to look like. But I was like, I don't know, 12, 13 at the time.
Yeah.
But I do think it's fascinating. And then they're also saying that just skin. Like, our skin is just better because we didn't start out, we haven't been doing fillers. Like the young kids have,
right.
They started really young.
Yeah.
They weren't,
they're just putting so much product in their face. Yeah.
Even skincare. Like well, soap and water.
Skincare is a sham. It's a sham. It really is. It's just, how can we make your skin not good so we can sell you more stuff?
Right. True.
I just started using tallow.
What's that?
It's beef fat.
What is it? Beef fat?
Beef fat.
Tell me why.
Because it matches like the makeup of our complexion.
Okay.
So like it's filled with vitamins and just like nutrients for your skin.
Sounds like she fell for some skincare routine.
No, it's not a skincare routine.
What do you do? Are you eating it, or are you
I'm putting it on my face?
So that's a skincare.
But it's not like it's. The whole purpose is just to keep natural skin. It's not saying like, oh, you're not gonna have wrinkles and it's gonna all these ceramides and all these retinoids and like all that is baloney. It's all baloney. It's just natural as can be. They used to do it all the time before before like the beauty scene really blew up. Like a long time ago.
Where do you get this beef fat?
I found this really cool company. It's called the Van Man. but it's all organic, like all grass fed, like beef and like all like.
Do you get to eat the meat and then also use the fat for your skin, or is it just?
I mean, if I had my own cow, I would use the cow. I would.
But I'm asking you about this non-skincare product that you're
It's
buying.
just tallow. It's just beef tallow.
So they're packaging it in a little container.
Yeah, it's
It
just
says
beef.
it's beef tallow for your face.
You could use it for anything.
That's still skincare.
But it's not like that traditional like beauty product of like, if you use this, you won't have any wrinkles. If you use this, like you won't have any breakouts, or you won't like. It's just use this, and your skin will be fine. Basically, like there's nothing like it's. I love it.
I mean, that's great. I mean, we also know that skin is like starts from the inside. So like obviously hydration is a huge component to all of this.
Right.
So just staying hydrated, not
Right.
being in the sun. I feel
Right.
like a lot of our parents probably spend a lot of time in the sun.
Yeah.
And
The tinfoil.
yeah,
Like,
and that was like, a huge thing. So then maybe we stayed a little bit out of the sun.
right. And we
You know?
didn't. We didn't put product on our face, so we didn't put like
sunscreen. I had
Yeah.
so much sunscreen on all the time.
Yeah, but like all those chemicals, like in those products that everyone uses, like the makeup, like
I know.
and they started so young.
It's just it's such a wild thing. And I feel like, that's one thing that will help you out in the whole aging backwards piece.
I hope.
Now that you're 30.
Yeah.
Because don't worry, you won't look as bad as the Gen Zer.
Good for 30.
I think it's so hard to even say you look good for 30 because 30 is still so young.
I know.
I guess it could feel old. I don't know. I feel like I actually cried more on my 20th birthday than I did on my 30th. I always wanted to be 30. I thought life would just be a little bit easier. I have it all figured out. Not because I'm wrong, but like I just really thought I was like, okay, it's gonna be a little bit easier. I'm gonna figure things out. And I did figure a lot of things out, but like I'm still working on my life. And
that's the whole journey of life.
Yeah. But at 20, I remember turning 20 from 19 to 20, I cried.
Wow.
Oh my God, I'm like old.
Yeah. Oh no. I've never really like felt old. So that's fine. I'm gonna hold on to that as long as I can.
You're here to never feeling old.
Yep.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink. Oh,
Oh, that was that.
so sorry. Sorry, Stan. What's his name? Who's it?
Sorry, Stan.
Sean.
Sean.
Shout out to Sean.
Shout out to Sean, our mixologist.
Oh my God.
Audio mixer. Yeah. Okay, so you had a topic you wanted to bring up. I forgot what it was called. What it was called.
So okay, well, I was thinking, before you transitioned into like leadership and like power coach, like coaching, you worked a lot with couples.
Yeah.
And I work with a lot of individuals. I don't work with couples, but a lot of people come in because of their couple problems. So I guess my question for you is like, what do you do when you're working with a couple or you're working with an individual, doesn't matter, couple, individual, and you just know they're not right for each other?
I mean, I still work a lot with couples, so
Okay.
it still happens.
Okay.
And I straight up tell them, y'all need to break up. I don't beat around the bush. But I'm always like, I make sure that before I like just share that truth,
Yeah.
We are going through a series of exercises and I'm like, okay, like, is this what you really wanted? And if they're like, no, that's not what I really wanted. Do you think you can change this person? No, it doesn't seem like they're going to change. Well, are you willing to accept that this is going to be what it is? No, I don't want to accept it.
Right.
Then you need to break up. Like this is not going to move forward unless you both are willing to do your part.
Right.
And so, but I have no problem. I think of one couple and specifically, I literally told them to break up. I want to say like 20 times.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, this is not working for either of you.
Right.
You need to leave this situation. What are you doing? And
right.
This theory, I have this belief, because I've seen it happen a couple times, but it's very rare. So I want to specify or preface this with it's very fucking rare. So if you think that you're the exception, you've already failed the test. Okay. If a couple's together and it's not working out. I have a theory that the only way that they will ever be able to come back together and it is good is if they literally separate and leave and live their own lives, and then they come back together on accident by happenstance, maybe a year or two later when they're different people. And that has happened and it does happen. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
But it's very rare because most people have the hardest time just fully separating. So unless you fully cut the cord,
Right.
become you're no longer enmeshed or entangled, and you have the ability to grow on your own.
Yeah.
You will always be kind of the same person in that specific relationship.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating. That's kind of one of the whenever I'm sharing this with my couples, I'll say that like this can happen.
Right.
But it means you've got to cut it off completely.
Right.
And if it's meant to be, it'll be.
Yeah. Yeah. Does it differ when you're working with a client individually and they're coming to you and they're like really stuck in their relationship?
Well, so yes and no. I'll still use it, but I'll use it as a shock factor. So like, well, maybe you should just break up. And I'll say that to get them to think about, especially if they came in not even considering that was an option.
Right.
But if I'll just say that to get them to think like, well, is that what I really want?
Yeah.
Is that what am I complaining? Like, what am I complaining about? Is it because I really don't see that there's change here? Or is it because, I'm afraid to actually do the work to change myself? So I'll use it as a shock factor. And with people I really know, like I've seen them for a long time, I'm like, let's talk about a plan to help you get out of this situation because it's not good.
Right. Right. Yeah. Now, what about in real life?
With
the friends? Yeah.
Oh, girl, please. What do you think?
You were the first one to tell anyone whether they should get the boot or not.
And I would say my success rate is pretty high. It's just hard. I think, with friends. And we've talked about this. Like, if you're not paying me, then like, I don't hold that frame for you.
Right.
So like, you can take my friend opinion into consideration, but it's not really going to mean as much as if you were paying your therapist.
Right.
Or your mental health provider for the information, for the observation, or for their advice. So I just know that, I can plant seeds wherever I am, but it's not always going to grow in my time, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Especially with friends. But it eventually happens.
Right. Oh, yeah.
What about you?
When it comes to what? Client or friends or
we'll start with the client first, individual.
I mean,
a teenager. Actually, I want to hear about a teenager. What do you tell a teenager? Because they're so stubborn.
They are so stubborn. I just put it on them. I just like to remind them whenever they're not feeling the relationship doesn't serve them, it doesn't feel good to them anymore, then that's when they really need to take a step back and question if they should be in the relationship. I try to remind them everything's temporary. You have so much more life to live. I say that a lot. So much more life to live. This is not permanent yet. So, just because you can't tell a teenager what to do. You couldn't tell me what to do. It was 16. You told me to. Yes, seriously. Oh my God, you cannot. Like me either. Like, that's what I meant. Not like you. Yeah. Oh God.
Freudian slip.
Oh no. Oh. Yes and no.
That's like not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to my teens, it's putting it in their control and letting them learn through their experiences, but also letting them, like, kind of teaching them or coaching them, right, to trust themselves.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
Yeah.
But if it's like really bad, and I'm like, dude, you're just like playing out your mommy issues. Like, I'll say that sometimes. And like, do you see how you're bringing your stuff in? Like, I don't know the other person, but everyone in this world is bringing their own stuff into the relationship. So like,
yeah,
maybe you guys are just triggering each other back and forth, back and forth. And I always tell them to look for teenagers. I talk more about like patterns. Like, look for the pattern. Is the same pattern emerging? Like, again, it doesn't matter about the surface stuff, whether it's over like he didn't come over that night or he played baseball with his friend. Like, what's the pattern?
Right. Because I think that's actually really important because, it's really easy to follow your feelings. And I feel like sometimes when we just follow our feelings, it's good, it's bad, then we make snap decisions versus actually like, okay, it doesn't feel good right now. And is this feeling of not feeling good a pattern that I've felt over time?
Right.
Like makes it a little bit more logical and not, just based off of a knee-jerk reaction, which is very normal for a lot of people, especially teenagers to do. But I would say pretty much anyone who's in a toxic relationship.
Yeah. Most relationships are just wild.
I know.
But I love a thing that I love to drop as a bomb, like, oh wow, that sounds a lot like a mom. Oh wow, that sounds a lot like a dad. And they're like, what? They're like, oh shit, you're right. Like, because we just replay the familiar patterns from the relationships that we have with our parents.
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with our brains?
Oh yeah.
Why do our brains do this?
Because it's easy. Oh, I could tell you why. It's because it's less energy.
Yeah.
Your brain is always going to do the shortcut. It's always going to do the thing that requires less energy. So it's just going to use the neural pathways, the familiar things that are there. That's literally why.
Yeah. And
physically why.
Like energetically why, I'm wondering, why the fuck does it do that? Why were we designed like this? So like I'm taking it
to survive
all the way to the tip top.
The top. We were designed to survive.
Yes, I know, but after a few patterns of experiencing the same mommy and daddy issues over and over again that feel really shitty and are not actually conducive to expansion.
Yeah.
You would think that our brain would have a shutoff valve that'd be like, okay, we're not doing this anymore because expansion needs to happen.
The shutoff valve is us.
I know, the conscious part of us, not our subconscious part of us, which
not
is why our brains fucking suck sometimes. They're beautiful
and they're amazing
and amazing and necessary. And at the same time,
your worst goddamn enemy.
Yes. Good grief. Good grief. Here we are.
Yeah. I don't even know how we got there, but yeah, I love dropping that bomb of, wow, that sounds a lot like the dynamic you had with your mom or your dad growing up.
Yucky.
And they're like, don't ever say that again. And I'm like, well, don't get in relationships like that. I don't know what to tell you. Oh man.
Give yourself the ick.
Yeah.
Gross.
But it's really hard when I have clients who are older, already married, and they come in and like, the marriage is failing. And I'm like,
you're playing out your dad.
Yeah. And you're like 6 years into it, and it's like, now what?
But see, I think
I feel bad, like I don't want to blow up their marriage.
But sometimes you have to.
Well, like me, like Angela me wants to be like, blow it up, blow up your freaking life, go live your life, screw this person, like find someone who actually like you can actually be with and have this safe space with this partner, right?
What a concept,
yeah. Like, I don't understand. Like, why live a miserable life?
Because our brains seek out the familiar.
I know. Miserable. No kidding. I know.
Such bullshit.
But like,
I mean, it's true, but it's
I know. Yeah. But like, if they have a family, if they have kids, and like, they're trying so hard to make the marriage work, I almost feel like I don't want to be responsible for blowing up that family. Because like,
obviously come to you for a reason, and I feel like that's the responsibility lies on them because they showed up.
Yeah.
Not on you. And it's absolutely essential because like as a child of divorce personally, or if you're a child who's grown up in a toxic family system with parents who really didn't get along.
Right.
It didn't feel really good watching them do that. And it probably didn't teach you that it was safe to like find love and to start over.
Right.
And I feel like with couples like that, just normalizing that it's safe to start over.
As many times too. There's no correct like
age,
Yeah.
demographic.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to start over more than once. Like, especially if you weren't in the place where you needed to be when you started over the first time.
So many people should already start over. Well, it's okay. You got, keep starting over.
Yeah.
Husband number 5. Here we are.
Yeah. Maybe there's like his number, but like it's like, wait.
Less than that. Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't start over if you can't reset. No, I'm kidding.
You're like, oh, it's not good, and then you divorce. That's probably not.
Well, that just shows me like well, at that point you're not doing the thing that you need to do to work on yourself. Like you keep attracting the same stuff because you're not working or self-aware. Yeah.
And this is obviously no shade or shame to anyone who's been in multiple relationships or had multiple marriages. We completely understand. And we're talking from personal experience as well.
Yeah.
So
like
breaking patterns.
Exactly.
It can be to break patterns.
Yep.
And also
And how much we don't want to break patterns at
Totally,
times. Like,
totally. And how also important it is to do the personal work. Like to
Mhm.
me, actually, are you watching Bridgerton?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
So I won't spoil it, and this is not a spoiler, but there's this one scene in this latest part two of episode season
Part 2 came out?
Yeah.
When?
So like part two, part two just came out yesterday.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So there was an episode, I don't remember which one it was, but she's talking to the seamstress. And the seamstress says, there's no true love without self-trust or something like that. Or true without true authentic self or something like
Yeah.
that. And it's like, yes, exactly. So like when people come to me for couples issues or marital issues or whatever, my main focus is always how do we help you understand who you are so you can communicate that to your partner.
Right. And then when your partner can't comprehend that,
Yeah.
that's when you got to go.
True. Yes. Absolutely.
Because there's no communication if there's no comprehension.
There's no connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And that's where I feel bad.
Funny thing is though, I feel like it's so hard. And I think when I'm working with individuals, unless I've been with them for a long time, I can just sense that it's not, intuitively can just sense that they're doing their best and they're trying all the recommendations and it's still not getting through to their partner. But like we have to remember, I don't know if you learned this in school, but this idea of questioning the reporter.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So no offense, clients, but like we literally have to be very objective when we listen to you because we know that there's your side, the other side, and the truth.
Right.
And so your version of what's going on is very limited based off of your perspective.
Right.
And there's a whole other perspective. And oftentimes our clients or my clients who are trying to work things out with their partner, and, he doesn't listen to me or he doesn't care about my needs, either is completely rejecting ways that he does show that he cares or is actually not communicating, is like shut down or silent or yelling and being aggressive. Right. And it's like, well, of course they can't receive that. You're triggering their wounds, their parental wounds. Yes. And they can't hear you at all. So like you have to learn how to the hugest component for me with couples therapy, which is part of my favorite part of it, is stripping them down to the basics of what it means to actually communicate. And the hugest form of communication or the most important piece is listening. Yeah. And a lot of people just don't know how to listen.
Right. People just listen to
respond.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like there is a very distinct, like when your client is coming in and they're saying, it's the language shifts from, well, he's not doing this or she's not doing this and to I tried this, like, what do I do now? I did this, like if there's a different like tone.
Yeah.
And then from there I think you could really assume at that point, if the partner's not involved in the therapy, that this partner isn't receptive.
Yeah.
And because whatever their stuff is, and you can understand their stuff like completely, but if they can't do anything with it, like it doesn't matter how much you understand it.
Right.
It's not going to do it. It's not going to move the couple forward. It's just so I struggle so much with that with my individual clients that like they're in these relationships that don't serve them. And
well, I feel like, and I get it too, like, but I think even like, and maybe this is just how I've always been as a therapist, like my clients are like my friends, but not my friends, right?
Right.
And so it's the same thing I feel about certain, but some of my friends, like in relationships that are not serving them, but it's not going to do me any justice or help them by berating them and shaming them. Right. Not that we would ever try to shame our clients, but it still feels like shame when you're constantly like, well, why are you with them? Like, I don't understand. Questioning their motives or their reasoning. And so like my biggest thing is just like the more that I help them see themselves from a confident, empowered place, the more that they will feel confident and ready to make that choice on their own. And 9 times out of 10 they do. Or they somehow learn to express themselves in a way that their partner can actually finally hear. And now the relationship is thriving and it's better. Yeah. And that actually also happens a whole lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't you think the partner needs to do work too?
Absolutely. But like sometimes if I don't have the other person in, so we know that modeling is the biggest form of like
Right.
learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I have, we'll say Susan, and Joe's at home and he's unwilling, he's a man, not working therapy, whatever.
Right.
And that's not all men, but a lot of men still have these stigmas, right?
Yeah.
And so Susan's in here and she's like healing and growing and learning and softening. And now Joe is like, oh wow, she's kind of a different woman because she's been doing this thing. Maybe I should look into doing something for myself too. And
yeah, but 9 times out of 10, they don't.
That's not necessarily true.
That's yeah.
I mean, maybe in where you are in your practice,
yeah,
as far as the clients that come see you.
Yeah.
But the ones that I end up working with, Joe will eventually either decide that he wants to join or that he feels like he wants to seek out support because of the way that Susan has changed.
Right.
And it's really interesting how that happens, and I don't think that that's a one-off. I think that actually happens more than we may give it credit for.
Yeah.
At least in my wheelhouse. And again, I'd like to specialize in couples and stuff. So
right.
Yeah, I see those dynamics differently.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, no, bitch, leave him.
I wish no.
Eat a pastry. It's life. Eat, pray, love. I would love to tell all my clients to eat, pray, love. I would love for them to just have their little Elizabeth Gilbert moment and just live the best time.
I have a client, she's young, she's like, whatever, like 19, 20, and she's going abroad for the first time. And when I tell you, I was so excited, and she was like, I don't understand why you're so excited for me. I was like, just wait. Like, your life is going to change. Like, you're going to get a new perspective. Like, how cool is that? And she was like, you're freaking me out. I was like, okay, I'll reel it in a little bit, because she's like all like chill, no. I don't know what word to use.
She hit the weed or something.
I don't know. No, she's just like
everything's cool.
Yeah.
I'm just going abroad.
Yeah.
Big deal.
I'm like, do you realize this?
She's like, I do, but I just don't show it the way that you do. Don't show me some excitement, girl. It's a time in your life.
Yeah.
I wish I could live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
Welcome to aging.
And I'm like, I'm just so excited for when you get back. And she's like, can I go first? I was like, yeah, just go. We'll talk when you get back.
I love it.
She's so
But
funny.
you're going to Portugal soon, right?
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you hope to eat there?
So and
do you have an itinerary?
Oh yeah, it's all done. The itinerary is done. I made a reservation at Michelin star restaurant. It's gonna be my first Michelin star restaurant. I'm so excited.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. That's my turning 30 goal, is to go to a Michelin star restaurant at least once a year.
Yes, queen.
Yeah.
I'm here for this. I think that's the part that's fun about getting 30, and like you're older, you make your own money. Like it's like, wow, I really can live this luxurious life I've been Pinteresting the whole time.
Right.
I'm gonna go abroad. I'm gonna go to a Michelin star restaurant for my 30th birthday. And wear a cute little outfit.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I just love just eating my way through wherever I am.
Life.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Ditto. I know, I'm so excited. I was having conversations about France today.
I love Bordeaux.
Honey, it's like.
Have you been to Bordeaux?
No.
You're not gonna come back. She's not coming back. This podcast is over.
We'll just be doing it through Zoom.
No, I'll just come to France.
Yeah. Duh. Of course. Therapist After Dark abroad. Now we live in France, and this is what we're doing. Yeah, no, I'm so excited. I was having all these conversations with because we're getting a castle, right? And with the hostess, and like figuring out like food, and she was like, oh yes, every morning we will be having pain au chocolat delivered fresh from the bakery. We will deliver it. And I was like, oh, what?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So there are a few spots left if you're interested in joining us in France.
What is it? It's a retreat?
Yes, it's a retreat, leadership retreat for women, helping like the whole life, love, career balance, and romancing your life.
Yeah.
Hey.
You only got one life. Romance it up.
There you go. Oh my goodness. Well, I am glad that we pulled it through for second episode.
Yeah, second wins, really.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Get it in here. All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks everyone listening. Appreciate you.
And we'll see you in real life, maybe. Bye.
Toodaloo.
We hope that you enjoyed the peek behind the therapy room curtain. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. Until next time, remember, life's a journey, even for your therapist. Take care and see you next episode.